I've had a ton of questions asking me how I got black air inlet covers. And to be honest, it's really, really simple.
Real bad. I've got a ton of gravel in my shoes, girl on my shoulder, a heart full of blues. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Justin. Today on the Z950 Sport. Before we get into that, I just want to say that I feel like the intro part of the video is always the most awkward. Like, I don't know. Anyway, today on my Z950 Sport, we are going to be talking about these air inlets on the back. The reason I want to talk about these today is I've had a ton of questions asking me how I got black air inlet covers. And to be honest, it's really, really simple. $5.82 can of black Plasti Dip. Plasti Dip, if you're not aware of what it is actually a rubber coating. It is flexible, it helps insulate things, it does provide a non-slip kind of grip and surface, comes in different colors, it's extremely durable, resists weather, repels water, chemicals, the whole thing. I mean, I've painted these right after I got this, you know, almost 1,200 miles later. If I clean this right now, and I'll show you, but I can clean it with, you know, the Mud Tracks products, I can clean it with any cleaning products, and it'll clean up beautifully. The other reason I chose to use Plasti Dip is because it is peelable. So if for any reason whatsoever these ever need to go back to the factory silver color, I can literally peel this layer of paint that's on it off, and these will be silver again. I'm gonna show you a little bit of the peeling part, and then I'll talk to you about painting it, because when you paint with Plasti Dip, it does take multiple coats and you do have to be patient. It does self-level, which is nice. It still can run and drip, but it typically doesn't. I'm gonna show you the easiest way to get the best coverage and to make sure that it will last as long as these have. I mean, these have been pressure washed and everything and still look perfectly brand new. So let's get them cleaned up. I'll show you how it peels and then we'll repaint it. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty dirty. What I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use the Mud Tracks. It's called PVR. It stands for plastic, vinyl, and rubber. And all I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna spray a little bit on this towel. You can spray it directly on and then give it a wipe. This stuff absolutely smells amazing. And its cleaning and protective properties are absolutely awesome. So since I'm going to be peeling this isn't really probably necessary, but I just want to show you that it is resistant to chemicals. It cleans up nice. You can spray it directly on if you need to. It leaves an amazing finish. Plastic, vinyl, rubber, all look brand new. And you can see that right there is a huge, huge difference. So let me show you how to get these off. They both come off the same exact way, and then show you how to take the inner filter out of them before we paint them. So there are 3 Allen screws, one on the top, one down here, and one up underneath here that hold these covers on. They come off super easy. You don't want these bolts, when you tighten them back down in there, you don't want them to be super, super tight. You just want them to be hand tight, snug, because you don't want to strip out the part that holds the actual threads of the bolt. So okay, so now that we've got those out, we're going to set that over to the side, and then this just pulls straight back and off. This side here is the actual, it's almost like a snorkel for your air intake. The other side is for the clutch. On the underneath side of this, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips head screws. Okay, so let's get those out. Again, these shouldn't be in there super tight, just tight enough to snug it. Now the inside of the other side I'll have to check. I know it's not exactly the same. It's a little bit different. Okay, and then once you get all the screws out, this inner part just pulls out. It's like a frog skin type of filter, just as like a pre-filter before it actually gets into where the air filter is. Set this down, put these somewhere safe. Now I'll show you the cool thing about Plasti Dip. Okay, so one of the great things about Plasti Dip is the fact that it is peelable, right? So find us a little spot here, just kind of scratch it and get it started. And this might not peel as easy as normal, just with the temperature outside. Normally, once you get it started, this rubberized coating will just peel off. They do make something called a dip dissolver, which you just spray on, let it sit for a few minutes, then spray and wipe off. That will eat this stuff right off of there. But if you put on enough layers and you put it on thick enough, as you can see, this stuff will peel right off. And it takes it literally right back to the factory silver. Doesn't stain it, doesn't mark it up at all. It's really, really cool stuff. Let me finish getting the rest of this peeled off here. I was hoping to get down in here so I could show you peeling like a bigger section and how this stuff does literally just peel right off. If it were a little bit warmer, this I'm assuming would peel much easier, like all in one piece. But it's doing a pretty good job right now. But just that simple and that easy, you can be back to the factory silver. And as you can see, there's no discoloration, there's no markings, nothing at all that the Plasti Dip has left behind on the surface. All right, let me get the rest of the way peeled, and then we'll show you how to paint. Okay, now as you can see, we've got the Plasti Dip peeled off the entire thing. And just to show you, that is what it looks like before it's painted. It's not a very good look, if you ask me. I think the black ties in and looks way, way better. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna clean this, then I'm gonna show you the proper way to Plasti Dip your air inlet. So what I've done is I've just hammered a piece of, it's like wall shelving thing. It can be a stick, it can be anything that will allow this to freely sit there so it doesn't have to sit on something. All right, now when you're messing with Plasti Dip, the biggest thing is layers and even coverage. So your first layer is gonna be a really light layer that when I'm done with it, you're gonna look at it and wonder what in the world I'm doing. I promise that's the way it's supposed to look. So, and just make sure you get in all the little areas and crevices. And like I said, this first coat is just a really light initial coverage coat. You don't want to fully cover it. You kind of just want to spray this on and sort of let it do its thing. Like I said, there are a bunch of little cracks and crevices on this inlet. You got to be kind of careful. Make sure you get in everywhere. You leaving? Love you, kid.
Love you too, Dad.
Have a good day at work.
I love you too.
All right. All right, so we've got the first initial layer on there. Let me show you up close so you can really see how ridiculous it looks. Like that does not look like it's painted very well at all. But I promise that is what that first coat is supposed to look like. So we'll let this dry for about 15-20 minutes and come back and do the next coat. I typically do 4 good coats. That seems to give it enough durability, enough layers to be protective, and also to allow you to peel it off without incident. So, okay, so it's been about 15 minutes, and you can see that it's spread out and darkened up a little bit. So let's hit it with this next coat. This next coat, you definitely want to have a little more coverage than the first. It doesn't need to be completely blacked out yet, but you want it to be close. And you just want nice even strokes. I mean, just like you were spray painting. Just because it's a rubberized coating doesn't mean you do it any differently. And again, you want to make sure you're getting in the nooks and crannies everywhere. So now our second coat, it's a lot more coverage and it's really starting to take shape now. When you do this, you'll notice upon first spray, the texture of the surface might look a little bumpy, but this is self-leveling. That will all smooth out. Just give it the proper time to dry and enough coats and you have nothing to worry about. So let this dry for like 15 or 20 minutes. Then we'll come back and do a third coat, and then we'll come back and do a fourth coat, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, coat 3. Now this third coat, you want to do pretty heavy coverage. You want to make sure there's no underlying color left from the original color. You want to make sure you can't see any silver at all. Again, making sure you're getting all these cracks and crevices. This third and fourth coat I typically do pretty heavy. And let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about as far as texture. Right, so you can't really see. You can see it pretty good right there. See how it doesn't look flat? It looks texturized. Well, that will even itself out and go away. And I'll show you once it's finished how flat and even it really looks. And now time for the fourth and final layer. And again, this fourth layer is going to give you a weird texture upon initially spraying it, but that will all level out and go away. All right, we got the fourth layer on. I always like to take my can, turn it upside down, spray it till nothing comes out, because this will clog. So we're going to go wipe and clean this off just in case for some reason in the future we need it for touch-ups or need to paint something else. We'll still be able to use this can. Okay, so it's been about another 20 minutes. This thing is now dry. And as you can see, it has dried extremely flat as far as color goes. So what we're going to do now, we're going to replace this pre-filter, place the screws in it. The other side is laid out exactly the same. There are only 3 screws in that one over there. This will have to go in a very certain kind of way. Put these screws back in. Like I said, I just get them to where they are snug. You don't want to over tighten them. So you replace everything inside there. Make sure these clips are pushed all the way in. Those can sometimes kind of slide out, make reinstallation a little difficult. Slide it back into place. Now initially, because we just painted this and there's a little bit of extra paint, I mean it's not really paint, it's like a rubber material on the inside of these bolt holes. Might be a little tight squeeze. I just tighten these down hand tight till they're snug. I make sure not to over tighten them. All right, and there we go. Looks so much better than just the normal silver. Blends in better, it matches the paint scheme better, it just looks better all the way around. All right, so there you have it, guys. Paint your air inlets black, or how to black them out, or chrome delete, silver delete, whatever you want to call it. Super easy process. The longest it takes is just letting it dry in between coats, but the way that it makes it look, totally worth the $6 and a little bit of time, in my opinion. We used less than half a can on this, so you should be able to do both sides with a single can. They do make a glossifier spray that you could spray on there to further seal it and make it have kind of a glossy look to it. I'm not a fan of the glossy look, so and I do plan on wrapping this in a satin black, so I kind of want to keep everything as flat as possible. But you can wash it like normal. You can spray it off like normal. You can use stuff on it like normal. You know, I've driven mine 1,200 miles, no scratches, no nothing on mine yet. It's just a really quick, easy, simple, and cheap way to improve the look. You can paint your wheels. You could paint this body if you wanted to. You could paint the doors. You could paint these silver things black. You paint whatever you want with it. And if you don't like it, the awesome part is it's not permanent. You just peel it right off. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks to all the new subscribers, all the likes, comments. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button for me. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see. T-minus 3 weeks from the day that you see this video, I will be in Mississippi with Blake and the boys from Main Street Cycle. So I am super excited about that. So ready to get down there and film. I've got a bunch of cool stuff in my head planned. Hopefully it all works out and we've got time to do everything I want to do. But with 3 full days, I figure, or at least 2 full days anyway, 2.5 days, I feel like we should be able to get a lot accomplished and get a lot of cool footage for you guys. And I'm telling you what, we're putting CFMoto on the map this year. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Have a great day, and we will see you in the next video.